Hey, Cavs fans, welcome to another episode of the Cavs Pick and Roll podcast, the podcast for diehard Cavs fans. Corey here with you with the man, Alex. How's it going, bud?
Hey, man. I like your haircut.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. This is one of the best ones I've done. And I, for one, think I look pretty fly for a white guy. Just going to say it.
If
Like,
y'all are
even my
listening to
family.
this, you got to tune into the YouTube channel.
No. Listen, real life, real story, real quick. 2 nights ago, I cut my hair. We're at dinner. I said, okay, I want the grade. Give me the grade. And my wife goes, it's probably one of the best ones you've done. My oldest goes, looks pretty good. My youngest didn't say anything. So, hey, I'm good, man. I am secure.
That's a great story. I love it.
With my haircuts. So, but just in case, I mean, I do got a hat nearby. I could just do one of these, Alex, and just, but I'm not really a hat guy. So you're the hat guy. I don't like doing that. So Alex, man, Cavs made some things happen.
Yeah.
In this summer league. They decided, you know what? Screw y'all. We're going to go undefeated and we're going to win the whole darn thing. And they came back home with some bling from Vegas.
Winning chips.
Awesome, man. Cleveland, the city of champions again. You don't have to wait another 52 years for that drought to end. It's here now.
That's right. We are a city of champions.
But in all seriousness, what an impressive run by the Cavs. And I know that there's some fans out there that, kind of scoff at this, right? It's summer league. Who cares? I get it. But we're diehard Cavs fans, man. And we've had no Cavs basketball since mid-April. So, we geek out at this stuff. And there's plenty of other people that were watching. And, man, just again, it was fun watching some form of Cavs basketball. It's not the Donovan Mitchells, the Darius Garlands out there, but it was still fun watching some players run around there in a Cavs uniform, go undefeated, and win the championship for the Summer League.
Yeah, it's fun. Man, I wish I could have got to watch more of it. Unfortunately, I was on the road for work all week, and I only got to catch 1 or 2 games.
So, yeah, some of them were at odd times.
Such fun games to watch, too.
Yeah, they were. You know what they kind of remind me of? And it's kind of funny I'm going to say this because I don't watch college basketball. And really it's because there's too many teams. I don't have any allegiance to any specific college. Players come, go, jump to teams or NBA. Like, it's just hard to stick with the team, right? Unless, like, you went to that college, or let's just be honest, you're a bandwagon fan and you always root for Duke. Like, that's not me. But what Summer League kind of reminded me of was a little bit of that college feel, to where you have these really non-NBA players or rookies that are just starting off their NBA careers, trying to shine, trying to, they know cameras are on them. They're playing as hard as they can, trying to, hopefully some team gives them a call up or gives them a tryout, or, you know what I mean? So that's kind of cool. Just when you see that level of, determination and just trying to give it their all, even though, again, they're not NBA players. So that was cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty similar to watching a G League game, right? I mean, it's a bunch of guys that are trying to make a roster or on 2-way contracts. The difference with the Summer League is you got a fresh batch of rookies, of first and second round picks that are also, they're either hyped up or they're also got a chip on their shoulder trying to make a team. So that makes it exciting. Yeah,
and you also got your draft and stash guys that are overseas that didn't play for the Charge, like Travers. He's not playing for the Charge. They send him back overseas. So we got another summer league of Travers, and same thing for other NBA teams. You don't only have their G League players, but you have some other players kind of just thrown in there to mix it up that those teams have the rights to. And again, everybody's looking for a moment to shine. And, again, I think one thing I'll just say now is we'll keep reality in check here, right? There's some players that we're going to talk about that we felt looked very nice in Summer League, but it was Summer League. They were going up against non-NBA players. Like, we get it that, 30 points in a Summer League game isn't the same as what it is in the NBA, and so on and so forth. But man, at the end of the day, when you're watching basketball, there's always going to be standouts. and the Cavs had a decent amount of standouts, in my opinion, and that's what helped them win it all. I think they had some guys, man, that just played elite in the summer league.
Yeah, we definitely had a few standouts. A couple guys that just consistently played really well. I think number one, at least on my list, would be Isiah Mobley. Was this the Isiah Mobley coming out party?
I think so. I mean, I remember talking about in the last episode where we talked about all the free agency moves, and we kind of said, or at least I have felt, one of the holes they still had to fill was another big man. And that Damian Jones trade did become official. It did go through a day or two later after we recorded, our last episode. So he's there. But Mobley, man, I don't know. He might be able to fill that slot. And, he's going, he's a season more experienced now. And he had a great summer league, run. He ends up being the MVP in the championship game, 28 points, 11 rebounds, just was a monster. Nobody can touch him. Right. But he really had a great stretch the whole summer league, in my opinion.
How much stock can you really put in a really great summer league run for a player? Like,
exactly,
does that elevate
where, again,
them to a roster spot? Or
well, what I'll say is this: so Mobley's on a 2-way contract, totally worthy of a 2-way contract. That's where he should be right now. He still has to prove that, hey, he can be that backup big man to maybe his brother or to Jared Allen or whatever, just be in the rotation of our bigs. It's really going to come down to him and Jones, in my opinion, on who's going to be that fourth big on the roster. So we'll see if it carries over or not. He still has to kind of prove that at an NBA level. And preseason will be here, before we know it, a couple months away, and he'll have another opportunity there to shine. And hopefully he has a similar run there. And that kind of starts to make that decision a lot easier for the coaching staff.
Absolutely. Who else really caught my eye, I think, was Bates, and how well he played for being a 19-year-old, fell to the second round, played for a MAC school, and didn't really excel. He just kind of schlepped his way through college, it seemed like, and then he really played really well in the summer league games, I thought.
Yeah, I thought so too. He ended up averaging 17 points, shot 40% from three, and there was three takeaways that I took from Bates. One, he can score, which we kind of already knew, but it was nice seeing him being able to do that, and pretty consistently for the most part for most of summer league. He was a better shooter than what I anticipated, especially from three. Finished with 40%. He hit a decent amount of threes, and some of them were tough ones. They weren't all gimmies or wide open ones in the corner or anything like that.
And that's pretty good, because he started out pretty rough. Those first couple summer league games, he shot a high volume, low percentage, like very inefficient. And I was pretty worried about that. But as the summer league games went on, he really kicked it up a notch.
Yes, he did. He did, definitely. And the third thing that I liked was just his energy. He would dunk the ball and he would just, flex and scream and all that stuff. So, you don't want somebody to be over the top, arrogant guy, but you could just tell he was in the game. He was in the moment. He was getting pumped up. And that's always cool to see too. So again, though, does that guarantee anything for him when it comes to a roster spot for the Cavs? Now, again, he's on a 2-way contract as well, but the problem I see with Bates is he has a harder path to a rotational player this year than like Mobley does, because Mobley, I feel we have a gap at the big man spot, to where Bates, it's like you just brought in the minivan, right? You just brought in Strus for $64 million. Like, that's the players he's going to have to outplay. And I don't see it happening. So I think there'll be times of the season where he'll get run, he'll get minutes. If there's an injury or something like that, he moves up the totem pole. But to start the season off, I'll be very curious to see if he's any part of the rotation at all. Mitchell seems to like him a lot and vouches for him, so maybe that has some legs behind it. I don't know, but it's pretty cool seeing your 49th pick, have a pretty good summer league. Probably have a better summer league. I don't know this because I haven't looked up the stats of all the first round draft picks, but 17 and 40%, grabbing rebounds, doing some things. I'm willing to bet he probably had a better summer league than some of the first round draft picks.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't bet against that. He really showed out, which is pretty cool for, being only 19 years old and playing like he did.
And
I
also
hope he's able to stay around. I hope we can keep him around.
Oh yeah, totally. And he also, what else was interesting was he played the most amount of minutes out of any Cavs player. He played 29. He just played just under 30 minutes, a game. So he got plenty of run out there. And I think, again, like you said, Alex, he was a little rough that first game or two, but then he started to get more comfortable, settled down a little bit, and really looked nice the last couple of games. I saw a lot of Cavs fans raving about him online. I saw some people saying, I can't believe he fell that far in the draft, things like that. Mm-hmm. So, it's got Cavs fans excited right now. Anything shiny, brand new, a rookie, always, everybody gets excited about it. But again, once the NBA season rolls around, don't be surprised when Bates isn't playing 20 plus minutes a game. He might not even be playing at all or under 10 minutes a game inconsistently for a little while.
Yeah. The third player that really stood out to me was Sam Merrill. Yeah. That kid, he was shooting lights out. I think I read a stat. It was like highest 3-point. Is it 3-point makes or 3-point percentage since 2017?
3 points made. Fire. He averaged 5 3-pointers per game. He hit 25 total. He played 5 games. He sat one of the summer league games, just a rotational thing. So they played the other guys. But he averaged the most amount of points for the Cavs at 20.4. His 3-point percentage was 44%. And yeah, he led the summer league. I don't know if he led all of summer league. I didn't hear that. But he led this year's summer league in 3-pointers made with 5 per game. And again, going back to that comment earlier, Alex, it's not NBA defenders and all that. But man, he does this little shimmy to get his defender in the air, takes one step to the left, jacks it up. And he made plenty. He made plenty of them in traffic as well. He's got a quick release, and I really like Sam Merrill. I think he has, though, unfortunately, even a harder path than what Bates does to crack the rotation. Because of all those other people that are just Garland, Mitchell, Minivan, Strus, Bates, like all those guys, Rubio, all those guys are all those guys are in front of him. How does he crack the rotation? And the sad thing is he probably won't as a result, and he'll probably spend a lot of time on the bench this year. But I wish there was a scenario where there was just 8 to 12 minutes in a game for him to get in, and let's just see what he can do. He's another shooter. We all say we need shooters for years and years, and he can light it up. And he proved that at Summer League.
Yeah, I mean, he's a player that's on another player that's on a 2-way contract, right? He got
no. I don't think he's 2-way. The Cavs gave him like a 3-year deal.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They gave him a 3-year deal, but I don't think it's guaranteed. It was like a total of like $3 million or $2 million, so it's real cheap. My fear is he's not going to crack the rotation. He gets cut from the team at some point, and somebody else picks him up, and he contributes. That's just my unfortunate prediction, but I like him. I saw some people kind of saying he's 27 years old. Why is he even in the summer league? He's already passed his window. Like, he's not going to amount to anything when it comes to an NBA team, like making an impact. You know what? That's a bunch of bullshit. He could shoot the ball, and we need shooters. So having him there, if you have injuries, would be nice, but I hope they find a way for him to crack the rotation too, because again, I don't know if he's going to stick around past the trade deadline, past the cutoff point for guaranteeing contracts, whenever that is, if he's not cracking the rotation.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have liked to see him get more minutes. I mean, he is a deadly shooter as we see, and that's exactly what the Cavs need.
Yes.
But like you said, with him bringing in Strus and George Niang and just the trades that they made this offseason,
It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know that he's going to get any minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Is there?
Yeah, he was very impressive in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Is there anybody else that played in the summer league that impressed you?
Yeah, so there's a couple others. So those are my top three. Um, the other one that stood out to me a little bit was Craig Porter Jr. He caught me off guard a little bit. He was a bit of a surprise for me. He averaged 12 points, five and a half assists per game. He just seemed comfortable out there. And he was an undrafted player, right? So the Cavs scooped him up. I think it was that night or the following morning after the draft, ended, and that happens. Teams tend to pick up some undrafted guys. That's how we picked up Delly all those years back. He was undrafted, and look what he turned into. I don't know what his future is yet. I see him playing probably a lot of charge games this year, but he could potentially be something nice down the road as he continues to develop, and we'll see what he turns into. The only other one that caught my eye a little bit was Nance, Pete Nance.
Right.
He had some nice moments, but the other guys were just he gets knocked on the totem pole because Bates, Mobley, and Merrill were kind of your big three. You had Porter Jr., you had Cooper doing some nice things. Cooper scores, pretty
Yeah,
easily as
that was going to
well.
be my number 4 was Sharif Cooper. Thought he played
Yes.
really well. He
Yes.
shot 48%, which is pretty impressive and tough to do when you're a little guard, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah,
And he's been around for a while, and
yeah,
there's always been a little pocket of the fan base that every once in a while I'll see they need to call up Cooper, they need to give him a chance. He's been on the charge. I don't know how many seasons now, but I feel like he's been around for a couple now, and I don't know, what what the odds are of either of those two players ever getting called up. But both of them look nice in the summer league as well.
yeah. Cooper's still only 22 years old,
Yeah.
but he's a point guard. He's 6'1". That's that's tough. We that's not exactly a need on the team right now.
No, exactly. And I think that's one of I don't know exactly how tall Merrill is, but I don't think he's that big either. And that's probably one of his challenges as
Merrill's
well.
listed at 6'5". I don't know if
Is he
that's right.
really?
Yeah, he doesn't
He didn't
seem
look
that
that big
tall.
out. He doesn't seem that tall out there. Not at all. Um, so I think I already know the answer to this question, but out of all those players we just talked about, if you had to give one of them a rotational spot on the team this upcoming season, who would you go with?
I think it's got to be Isiah Mobley. I think he played the best in the summer league. He played for the Cavs last season. He played pretty well with the minutes he was given.
Yep.
And if we do, I mean, our bigs are kind of stacked right now, right? We got Jared Allen, we got Mobley, we got who's the new guy we just got? Damian Jones. So
Yeah.
it
I
would
don't
take
know
a
what to expect from Damian. I still feel
yeah. I
like
don't know either.
I don't know either. I still feel we're a little light there, and I don't know much about Damian Jones yet, right? But Mobley to me feels Mobley's who I would pick too, by the way. And I agree. When he did have opportunities last year, he was solid. Like I don't remember ever saying like what the hell is this guy doing? And I still remember the very last game of the season last year, Alex, fan appreciation night where all the starters sit. Mobley showed out that game. He had an excellent game, and he showed out at Summer League as well. So he would be my pick as well, mainly because of the need and because he's starting to build up a good track record. He's just got to continue to grow, improve his game. I like that he can hit a 3-pointer every once in a while. He's a big body. He's athletic. He's not, heavy footed kind of thing, and just young and full of energy as well. So that's definitely who I would pick as well. But we'll see what happens.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, I was looking at the Cavs salary earlier, and we're about 2.5 million under the luxury line. So
You're saying
and I
you're
think we
saying
got
you'll take
two.
2.5 mil. to
And
play
I
for the
think we got
Cavs.
2 roster spots open, so we could get a vet min guy in there. You were talking
Yeah.
about Delly earlier. He's a free agent.
Is he really?
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah. I'm pretty sure.
You know who else is a free agent, Alex?
Who's that?
Lamar Stevens. Ain't that a you know what,
Yeah,
man?
that sucks.
So
Like, how
it
did
does
we
suck.
trade him to the Spurs, like the worst team in the NBA, and they cut him? He
Yeah,
is a quality player. The Spurs don't know what they're doing.
they don't
That's
know
what I
what
have to say
they're
about that.
they're putting their money on Chetty. They're gonna turn Chetty into the next Mobley.
It could happen.
Pop has a vision.
If that was
They
going to
already
happen,
had
it would have happened by now. We gave
they,
Jetty all the
Jetty,
years, man. All the
Ginobili,
years.
Lamar Stevens could have been Steven Jackson. Remember when Steven Jackson was on the Spurs back in the day? He was
Yeah.
a head case, and Pop turned his career around. And not that Lamar was, but he just has that kind of that dog in him, like Jackson did. But
Right.
yeah, he's out there, and it just sucks. I was telling you the other day at work, it just sucks that we included him in that trade just
Yeah.
for him to be released. You already talked about how, even if we wanted to bring him back, we can't bring him back.
Yeah, I was
And
seeing a
why was
lot of
that?
comments from people
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, let's bring him back. Let's bring him back. Let's bring him back." It's like how quickly everybody forgets about the big Z rule from when we traded Z and he got cut and we signed him back immediately. Well, after that, the NBA made a rule that you need to wait a year before you can sign a player that has been traded and released.
One day we need to do like a top 10 all-time Cavs trade list episode or something like that. And that Z trade is one of them because that was great. That brought in Jameson. And then, yeah, we brought back Z. And the fact that it was Washington, because Washington was like the Hawks when LeBron was here. Like they were the first instance of a team that we had a rivalry with, where we met them 3 years in the playoffs and we beat them all 3 times. We took away Larry Hughes from them. We took away Jameson. We traded you Z. We brought back Z. We owned Washington for that
And
era.
how many rules is the NBA going to create to try to bring the Cavs down, man? We got the
We got the
Stepien
stipend,
rule.
yep, and the big
We got
Z
the big Z
rule, yep.
rule.
Man, just
I
let
feel
us
like we're
be, man.
forgetting one here.
That's why it was Cleveland against the world, man. That's why that was a
It
meme all those years ago.
always will be, man.
All right, let's get back to the summer league real quick. But Alex, I want to quickly talk about just like the championship game and just recap that real quick because they went up against the Houston Rockets. No, there was no Kevin Porter Jr. there. Sorry. But the Cavs jumped out early on the Rockets, man. They jumped out early to a decent sized lead. Man, the Cavs, they just look so good. And they let the Rockets back into the game. The Rockets started just throwing up Hail Mary threes and were knocking them down. But by halftime, they had pulled away to a double digit lead again. And the third quarter came, the Cavs just bust out that lead again. They just go on like a 10-0 run to open it up wide open. And really, they never looked back from there. I think it got up to like a 20-point lead at some point, and it was just beautiful basketball. It was fun basketball to watch. Just the ball movement, watching multiple players get theirs, Merrill going off, Mobley going off, other supporting pieces doing their things. Bates hit a big 3-pointer with just under a minute to go. I think the Cavs, we were either tied or we were down one. I can't remember. Merrill swings it. It gets swung one more time to Bates. He hits a 3-pointer. Just in rhythm. And man, what a game! What a way to end it! And just Mobley wins the MVP. And everywhere on Twitter, at least any social media handle that covers the NBA, it was just all Cavs stuff. The NBA channel, ESPN, all of them. It was just just Cavs post after Cavs post. Merrill stats, Mobley stats, MVP. Here's your champions.
Mm-hmm.
It was just awesome to see a timeline full of just Cavs. It was great.
That is
I
great.
loved it.
Cavs fans, man, they show up. They really do.
They do.
But yeah, I didn't get to see it. I watched the highlights, but one of the highlight reels that I watched was Merrill hitting his 6 3-pointers. He shot 50% from three. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Boy, the Cavs could use a sharpshooter like that.
Absolutely, especially somebody. I mean, he's making next to nothing too on top of it. So, why not see what he can do and decide if he's in your plans or not, and go from there.
Was there anything about Summer League you were a little disappointed about?
Yeah, the game before the championship game was against the Brooklyn Nets,
Okay.
and that was a really good game too. It ended up going into overtime, and in Summer League they have this rule where when it's overtime, you don't get like an extra 4 minutes or an extra quarter. You play to a target score, quote unquote. So I think the score was like 94-94 or something like that, and the game goes in overtime. So overtime starts, and the first one to 101 wins the game.
Huh.
The freak is that?
I don't know. I never heard of
that. Yeah. I was very confused. And what was interesting was the Cavs got up big in overtime. They scored like the first 6 points, 8 points, or something like that. They needed one more bucket, and they win it. And they let Brooklyn come all the way back. Brooklyn hits a three, with like 30 seconds left, and it's like next bucket wins. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're don't let this be how they go out. Like that would have been a tough pill to swallow. And they set up a play. They throw it down to who else? Mobley, who doesn't take that great of a shot, to be honest with you. He had his back to the hoop, almost at the free throw line, spins around, just kind of slops it up there with one hand, bounces off the rim, bounces off the backboard. Luckily, it goes in, and the Cavs advance to the championship game. But yeah, the target score thing in overtime was bizarre. It's almost like Big Three. Big Three plays to like 50 or something like that, unless they've changed it. It's just kind of different, just kind of weird.
Yeah,
but what about for you?
Goofy. No, I really couldn't think of anything. I was just setting you up, Corey.
You know what? What was cool though too was seeing the Cavs team there supporting the summer league.
Yeah.
Like Mitchell was down there, Niang was down there, Strus was down there, Garland was down there. I saw Altman down there at one point. Bickerstaff was down there, and they do that every year. It's not like this year was something special, but it's always cool just seeing those pictures go up on social media of our guys here supporting summer league, and those guys tweeting after the game and stuff like that, and it's just kind of cool seeing them support the summer league guys.
But how come Mitchell wasn't sitting next to Garland? Is there trouble? Oh,
because he is halfway packed to New York.
Yeah,
and he's already checked out. He's already out of here. He's gonna demand a trade before the season starts. And say that
those comments are already coming out. Yeah, I was seeing some of that. I was like, you guys are reading way too much into this.
Yeah, it's just stupid. The only other thing that I hate about summer league, Alex, and this happens every year, is we have this drought of an off season of no Cavs basketball, right? Then we have the draft. Then we have summer league, which happens what feels like right after the draft. But now we're in a lull again. Like there won't be I don't know when preseason starts, but if the NBA season starts in October, preseason won't start for another 2 months. You know what I mean? So we're kind of stuck in this holding pattern again, to where all the big free agent moves have already happened. I can care less about James Harden or Lillard at this point and their BS drama. Like the chips have kind of fallen where they're going to fall for the most part, at least for the Cavs, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing now until preseason for Cavs fans to kind of latch onto.
Yeah, I have not even really looked to see when preseason starts, but
yeah, it's probably a little bit yet from now, right? It's not like it's in August. I don't think it's probably going to be a little bit closer to around training camp time, which is going to be around a little before the NBA season, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I hope they make it interesting. I always think it's fun when they do a preseason game where they bring an international team in to play. I always think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know if they still do that or if they have done that in a while. I remember the Cavs played against the international team years and years ago. This might have been like Chetty's first year, like when LeBron was here and stuff. And it was at the Q at the time. I forget what international team it was, but I mean, we annihilated them. It was no contest. So, Alex, kind of transitioning here a little bit off of the Cavs, the summer league run, them going undefeated, winning the championship. Just another quick NBA thing that kind of caught our eyes. Not necessarily in a good way though, but like this mid-season tournament thing is real. It's not fake. It's gonna happen. And like the Cavs have already been drafted like into whatever pool they're in. Like I don't understand how it all works. And all I know is that it is mid-season. Every team is entered. And what are we playing for, Alex?
It starts November 3rd, which is really early in the season.
That is because they don't want it, because they don't want to risk it getting too late in the season for one, injuries, and where teams start doing their player management, sitting guys and things like that. And I wonder now if they'll find teams for resting players during that tournament. Like if we rested Mitchell, will they find the Cavs?
Yeah, I could see that.
But the big question on every fan's mind is, from the fan base perspective, why do I care about this in-season tournament? Like, I think the players probably win some money if they win the tournament, but we already watched them make millions of dollars. Like, from the fan base, what do we get? What does my team get for winning it?
Yeah, exactly. I have the pricing right here in front of me. It says,
okay, let's hear it.
The in-season tournament prize pool will be allocated to the players on the teams that participate in the knockout rounds, with allocations increasing depending on how far a team progresses in the tournament. At the conclusion of the in-season tournament, the NBA will name the most valuable player of the competition and the all-tournament team. Selection will be based on the player's performance in both group play and the knockout rounds. So basically, no impact at all on the overall season. Players get more money and they get a trophy.
That was a whole bunch of gibberish.
Yeah.
Like, so let's do this, Alex. Let's just, if you were if you were Adam Silver, if you were the commissioner of the NBA, what would you reward the winner or the fan base for this? Like, let's spitball some ideas real quick. What could we give the fans, or what could we give the organization if they win this tournament? Give a reason for the fans to tune in.
Something that impacts the overall season, but doesn't overly impact it too much. It's just got to be a little bit, just a little something. I'm trying to remember what the MLB does for whoever wins the MLB All-Star game. I think they give like home advantage or something.
Yeah, but if I'm a team that wins the tournament somehow but don't even make it to the playoffs because Kyrie gets added to my team, and even though I have Luka, we miss the playoffs, which that happened in real life last season. Remember that? Like, what if that happens? Like, it's not guaranteed the team that's going to win that tournament necessarily goes to the playoffs, especially if teams rest their players during that tournament as well, right? Like, I don't know if in the rules there's penalties for that or not. What about something crazy like draft picks? So
I like that idea.
They extend the first round one more draft pick. What is it, 30 picks now? Go to 31. And whoever wins that tournament, they get an extra first round draft pick. They get that 31st pick in the first round.
Ooh, I like that a lot.
Some sort of draft compensation, or maybe it's
something to play for. But do the players really have something to play for in that case?
Well, they do, because the organization does. The players aren't going to play.
Don't really care about a draft pick.
No, they still get paid. They still get that bonus. Right? They get a bonus when you end the MVP reward. You get incentives if you hit certain metrics within your contract with your organization.
Okay. This is something for the fans. No different.
That's what you're saying. For the fans, and for the fans to get excited about is, okay, I am a pretty good team. The Cavs win it all. They should be a playoff team next year. They're most likely not going to have a first round draft pick. And if they do, it's not going to be a very, high one, right? But this gives me an extra first round draft pick, a late first round draft pick that is awarded to my team for winning that tournament. The players themselves get, $100,000, whatever it is. There's an MVP trophy. Heck, they'll probably give out rings like they just did at the Summer League, whatever, to try to make it feel as official as they can. But you got to give something to the fans and really to their team that they're rooting for to get excited about, to actually tune in and care about this tournament.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think that's the winner, Corey. I thought of a couple other ideas, but I can't top that one. I like that a lot.
You're not even going to top that?
No, I was thinking something along the lines of, less back-to-backs, or I don't know, something additional over All-Star weekend for the team.
You said one before we started recording. What about like they get slotted into a Christmas Day
Christmas game? I don't know if players like playing that Christmas game. I mean, it's great for the team, it's great for the fans, but is that something the players would really play for?
I don't know. I don't know. I think it depends on where you're at in your career. Like LeBron's probably sick of playing Christmas Day games at this point. Like, think about it. He's doesn't think of how many years you're away from your family. You almost see that. Same thing with like All-Star weekend, right? Like, while everybody else is home resting, you got to keep going. You don't get to nurse that injury because you're playing in the All-Star game and you're selected for the 3-point contest or whatever it is. But like, I don't know. They got to do something. And sadly, it doesn't feel like they're going to. And I think the ratings will speak for itself. And they'll probably tweak it for next year if they decide to do this again. But yeah, we just kind of wanted to touch base on that because they made it official. And I have one more suggestion, one more idea. They can, for one lucky fan, let's just say the Cavs win it, they can give you, the fan, a ticket to Paris to go see the Cavs play in Paris January 11th, 2024 against the Brooklyn Nets. Alex, you could be going to Paris. No?
I don't like Paris, Corey.
I don't know that you don't like Paris. This is the first time I'm hearing about this. What's your beef with Paris?
Oh, I have so much beef with Paris. Every time I fly through there, that is the worst airport ever. Every flight is delayed. The food is terrible in Paris. I'm sorry. I've ate at so many French restaurants in Paris, and it's all bad. It's all bad, no matter where you go. I'm probably offending so many people right now, but yeah. I mean, Paris airport's just the worst. The city's not my favorite. I don't want to go into detail and offend anyone, but
yeah. But what do you think about
check
the
out
NBA
the Louvre,
doing that?
check out the Eiffel Tower, check out the Arc de Triomphe, and get out of there.
Get the heck out of there. What do you think about the Cavs having a game over there, though? Like the NBA, they do that. They try to play an international game.
That is
here and there.
January 11th.
January 11th, 2024. And it's pretty cool, I guess, until we find out that game's on at like 1 a.m. or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that'll be the crappy part about it.
I think it's a 6-hour time difference. They're 6 hours ahead, right? So if they're playing at 8 p.m. there, then it's 2 p.m. here.
Yeah, it'll be an awkwardly scheduled game. It won't be convenient for everybody. But whatever. I think it's cool that the Cavs got selected to do that. I do wish that there was a better team selected to be. I mean, like the Brooklyn Nets are not going to be a great team for a little while here after Harden, Durant, Kyrie are gone. They're in a rebuilding phase. I wish they would have gave us more of like a marquee team to go up against too. It just feels like here's a random game that was already on the schedule. Hey, owners for both teams, would you play in Paris that day? Sure. Like, instead of it feeling like a special thing where it's like not that the Cavs really have a rival game, but like give us like Cavs Celtics, or Give us Cavs Golden State or something like that. Cavs Lakers. I don't know, something a little bit more intriguing that would like qualify almost as like a nationally televised game. Like nobody is going to give a crap about Brooklyn Cavs in Paris besides those two fan bases teams.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Nets, they still got that one guy that was a all-star who doesn't like to play anymore.
Benny boy?
Yeah, Benny. He plays a lot of 2K these days, but...
Oh, man. Yeah, so whatever. But yeah, I mean, whatever. It's cool that the Cavs got slotted for that. And, it's something cool on the calendar, I guess. But
yeah, maybe man, Ben Simmons it'll be the one game of the season he plays, and
can you see him like I don't know what they're called, but I could see him like in a beret with like the little scarfy thing around his neck with like the stripes, and like I could totally see him pulling that off. That
eating
look.
A baguette.
Maybe he'll go there and he'll just stay there, and yeah, I don't know.
I'll give the French that they got some kick-ass bakeries over there.
There you go.
There, Paris bakeries, excellent.
All right. Somehow we went 40 minutes.
We went
Alex.
Off the rails.
I don't know how. We didn't even get to your NBA Jam. Like, I got the shirt over here. You got to talk about that real quick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I picked up a Steam Deck off the Steam sale and installed Emu Deck, which is like a RetroArch front end, right, for playing retro games for old systems. So I was going through looking for old NBA games. That would be a good episode, Corey. We should do an episode where we say what our favorite NBA game is for like each retro, like generation retro console.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be good.
That'd be kind of cool.
We're probably going to have a little bit of a lull here in Cavs news, right? Until preseason and training camp. So we'll have to add that to the list.
But yeah, the first game I put on there was NBA Jam Tournament Edition for the Sega Genesis.
Smart choice. You're a smart man. My respect level just went up for you a notch, Alex. And who did you run with? Celtics?
Cavs,
Charlotte?
Man. Cavs, of course.
Okay, all right. I'm just making sure. I don't know.
I rocked that Mark Price, Brad Daugherty team.
You grew up like a Milwaukee Bucks fan at one point in your life.
There was a time that Vin Baker was the man.
Todd Day? Big Dog Glenn Robinson?
Yeah, absolutely.
Irvin Johnson.
That was a great team, man.
It was. In all seriousness, they were solid. Ray Allen, yeah. I mean, they were a good team.
The third player on that Cavs team in NBA Jam is Wilkins.
Yeah, that's really fun. Like,
I would have anybody ever chooses Wilkins. Like, I have to imagine everybody goes Price Daugherty, right?
I would think so too, but I would be torn. I mean, naturally, you go Daugherty for the dunks, you go Price for the shooting, but Wilkins, man, you'd have two players that can dunk it then, right? Because Price very rarely is going to dunk in that game, right?
Yeah, he had a big goose egg for the dunking stat there, but a 9 for 3-point shot.
Exactly. So I could see how, you go big, small there, but I always liked Wilkins as a player. I feel like he is an underrated player in Cavs history that doesn't get talked about enough, which that could be another episode soon.
Yeah,
too,
I don't think I don't remember ever bringing up Wilkins before.
Yeah. Gerald, he was brought in. This sounds comical now. He was brought in to be the Jordan stopper for the Cavs because the Cavs couldn't get over the hump. Chicago knocking him out. That's what Wilkins was brought in for. Was to guard Jordan. Didn't work out so well, but yeah. So there it is. Alex playing NBA Jam. I got the NBA Jam shirt behind me. This is one of my favorite Cavs shirts I own. I'll hold it up for those that are watching on YouTube. And I've worn this on the episode before. I got this a couple years back for Christmas. But it has Price and Daugherty on it. Along with classic NBA Jam stats. And I had that up in honor of Alex playing some good old NBA Jam Tournament Edition. Great game.
That's great.
Great
game.
The
next game I'm going to put on is NBA Live 2000 from PlayStation 1.
There you go. And that's a fun time, too, because, that's after the Kemp era. I don't think Kemp's on there still. You're going to start to get into, like, if you keep going another year or two up, you're going to get into, like, the DeJuan Wagner.
Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady. I mean,
yeah. But I'm saying from, like, a Cavs roster standpoint.
Yeah.
Like 2003 will be really fun because you'll have LeBron, you'll have Darius Miles, you'll have Wagner, you'll have Ricky Davis, you'll have Boozer. So yeah, if you keep going with those PS1 era games, you'll have some fun Cavs rosters to play with for sure. With that, Alex, you got anything else? Say something.
I'm thinking. Are you sure it was Gerald? Yeah. I was thinking there was somebody else the Cavs brought in to guard Jordan. Wasn't there? I know Gerald Wilkins was one of them. I swear there was a second name that went along with that, but
maybe Elo. I don't know.
No, not Elo. He did a fantastic job.
Yeah. Bob Sura wasn't here yet, Alex. All right, so they had to go with what they had available at that time.
I suppose. Yeah, I got nothing else, Corey.
All right, let's wrap this episode up. Thanks, Cavs fans, as always, for tuning in and listening. And Alex, you want to let them know where they can follow us and connect with us?
Follow us on Twitter at Cavs Pick and Roll. Shoot us an email, cavspickandroll@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram, Tumblr. Watch this episode on YouTube. See Corey's haircut. That's it.
All right, Cavs fans, there it is. We will talk to you again soon.
Peace out, Cavs fans.